Hello everybody, welcome back. It's been a while, but I'm excited to announce that Mr. Spreadsheet Guy is making a return and we'll be finishing off Season 2 with a bang. Alright, let's get into this. This episode is on tables. Effectively, Google Sheets recently has added a special functionality which lets you use preset tables that are much more efficient and much quicker to use than setting one up yourself. And we'll be going into how we can use these to maximize our spreadsheet efficiency and also some fun features within them. So let's have a look. First question is, how do we make a table? Well, we have a blank sheet here. If we press right click and we scroll down, you'll notice two things. Firstly, the convert to table option. So what this will do is it'll take any data you already have and convert it to a table. But you probably still have the question, what is a table? Isn't this already a table? Well, in order to find out, we can press the tables option right here. And if we press this, a new menu will pop up. And if we scroll through these, we'll find tables are effectively presets with fancy formatting and fancy rules. And if we use a random one of these, I'll just use a blank one for now, we'll find that they function the same as a normal spreadsheet. But there's a few special things that apply. Firstly, data validation, right? This has its own way of using data validation. If we press this little drop down next to the column, we can edit column type. And what this does is it effectively lets us add a data validation rule, but the menu is slightly different. So we can make sure that there's numbers here, text here, dates, or drop downs. And what you'll notice is if you select one, it'll work just like a data validation rule, but it won't let you switch directly from the data validation menu, right? You have to use this little drop-down arrow to switch the column type. Next, if we move on to sheet 2 in our example sheet, available to make a copy of and follow along in the description, by the way. Now, looking at our second sheet here, we can have a look at some of the very cool sorting functions that are available for our use. Effectively, in our previous episode on sorting, the only thing we learned was right-click and then sort sheet A to Z or Z to A. Using the tables function, we're able to get much more depth in what we can sort out. To start, I'll go on to the priority column, right? If we press this little drop down here, instead of going into edit column type, we can go into filter column and group by column. Now, if we press group by column, then what this will effectively do is it'll chunk the sheet into digestible portions based on, well, that column. So all the P0s are together, all the P1s are together, all the P2s are together, and so on. But there's of course more options. If we press this little tornado icon here, technically it's called a slicer. And what it effectively does is it slices out certain data. So for example, if I want to stop it from showing completed tasks. So if we deselect that and then scroll down and press OK, now you'll notice all the completed tasks are gone. And we can do the same with 0 priority tasks, for example. Gone, right? And then if we press save view, what we can do is save this specific sorting of the tasks, and if you press this little calculator icon, we can exit view, and now our sheet's back to normal. And now let's move on to our third example sheet. Let's go. Well, if we look at this new spreadsheet in sheet 3, right? You'll notice it's effectively a progress tracker. You have different tasks, you have different statuses, and it was the same on sheet 2, actually. And what's the most important thing when we're sorting our tasks? Breaking stuff down into subtasks, which if you see here, I have done. A is broken down into 4 subtasks. Same with B, same with C, so on. But it's very annoying to have all of this information just completely displayed out here, right? Because you have to scroll down forever to see each individual task. That's a huge pain. and it doesn't help us stay organized. So, how can we stay organized? Well, there's a very fun function in spreadsheets, and it's called group by row. And the way we access it is effectively we select the things that we want to group, and then we press right click, and you can press view more row actions, and then you can select group rows 3 to 6, for example. And if you press this, what this does is it takes the rows that you've selected and it automatically puts them as sub rows of the row directly above them, right? And now we can press this little minus button here, and it'll hide all the subtasks underneath the main task. So, as you can see, what I've done is I've grouped all the subtasks underneath the main tasks, and now we have a nice, clean, and organized spreadsheet. But there's a few things to take note of before you use the group rows function. Firstly, and very obviously, you have to select the entire row before you can group it. If you select just a column, it won't let you group the row. The main thing though is with moving rows. So if we have a group selected and it's collapsed, and we want to move this group, what will happen is the group will disappear, or at least we can't find it. Well, where did it go? If we open up the place where it used to be, you'll notice this group has latched onto a different group instead of moving with the group that it was assigned to. And that's not right. We don't want that. So really, in order to avoid my spreadsheet from bugging out, we have to open up the entire group and then move all the parts together, right? Very simple solution, but that's what you need to do. And now we can move that very smoothly over, and the groups stay intact, and everyone's happy, and the end. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you guys can stay more organized using tables, sorting, and grouping. Have fun. Bye bye.